better than the best done come. But still nobody better than you. Your sensual with venom until thy kingdom come. Eternally guilty. Let me show you where I come from. Yeah, with candlelight and body action. How we could hold a meditation, and we don't meditate alone. We meditate deep like a badami. You make me push a little further, and you inspire me to rise, mama. Until my blood are pumping harder. Your love is making a better me. You make me stay a little longer. Give me the vibes to get up, mama. To rise up, mama. To the top, mama. Oh, yeah. Woman, your loving is the deep. Look how you full of body, still a water. Nobody can fire but you.
Hey man, good night, good night. Hey Victor, yeah, still glitching up there with your audio, bro.
No.
Yeah, coming and going there, but it's fucking louder, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, Globe, listeners, the Inside, Indigenous TNT. This is your group for underground Trinidad and Tobago music. We play the things that they're not playing on the mainstream, the 30-something other mainstream radio station. This is where you hear real Trinidad and Tobago pop, every different non-festival style of music. Trinidad and Tobago rock, reggae, fusion, rap, soul, hip hop, zest, the best of the best. This is the place that you're hearing it. And we be jumping straight in. We have a lot of good music for you tonight. This particular song is called Indigo Blue, and we don't know who did this song. If anybody knows who did this song, send in the music. And of course, at the top of the program, that song that you heard coming in is Deep by Derwin Valley. The first #1 on Indigenous, oh so many moons ago, 10 years ago, when Indigenous debuted. It was about 10 years ago. Yeah, really, that long. The first Indigenous show, and it's become like our theme song. It was one of the longest running #1s, and it is a symbol to me of the genius music that is that is fought down and silenced in Trinidad. But this particular song that we're gonna play now at the top of the program, it's called Indigo Blue. Anybody out there who knows who sang the song, who played this song, who the players on this song, any information you have, send us the information. Spread the word tonight. 2 hours of music coming up here. Let's get the listeners coming in. We live on the live stream on the radio Toku page. And you can send your voice notes on WhatsApp. What's the number?
734 1067 186 1067.
106.
Yes. Yes.
Smiles in you now, I feel you, yeah, I feel you. The sun is racing, its western borders are calling. To you I'm falling, don't go. The modern day is on its way, and I time crashing into sunlight. And I'm not fading into you. The hours are longer when you are away now. I'll give my left arm just for you to stay. Indigo blue, don't let them take you. They will break you, yeah. The freedom found in you we cannot feel until we see you. The sunlight closes my eyes and cradles my body, and I find the modern day is on its way, dying, crashing into sunlight. And I'm not fading into you. The hours are longer when you are away now. I'll give my left arm just for you to stay. Teary-eyed and hopeful, I'm absolving you. Teary-eyed and hopeful, I'm absolving you. 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 I'm absolving you.
Yeah, man. So good.
Indigo blue, don't let them take you. They will break you, yeah. And freedom found in you we cannot see until we feel you. The sunlight closes my eyes and cradles my body, and I find the modern day is on its way, and time crashing into sunlight. And I'm not fading into you. The hours are longer when you are away now. I'll give my left arm just for you to stay. Just for you to stay.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, people, that was Indigo Blue by We Don't Know Who. Any information that anybody has out there about who might have been playing on that track, who that was banned, anything like that. I love the track. It's just one of those songs that invokes to me that kind of pre-grunge era of alternative rock. You know, the pre-Seattle kind of period, a period of when rock was raw and they had rock and roll storytelling and where guitars were still front and center of the music. And it's just a beautiful, naked rock ballad. It's bluesy and it feels lived in, you know, and it's just a throwback to that era of a more honest age of music, you know. It's garagey and grungy and you're hearing all the grit and stuff in the song. I really like it. Really like to know who was the band, who's the local band that did that. So please let us know, send it in, yeah. All right, so we jump from that real kind of grungy song and all those kinds of things to a bona fide Trinidad and Tobago rock star. This is somebody who has a fan base of tens of thousands of live people. As she said, having a show, thousands of people show up and that kind of stuff. She has a career in Europe and Australia, Russia, Pacific region, record contract, songs on hundreds of compilations all over the world, about 7 albums, music on major labels, all that kind of stuff. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Z Gatchet, also known as by her moniker Z Star. And now this is Polish rock and roll, studio, mainstream album, major label kind of rock and roll. This is a more step down kind of number, has a kind of West Coast vibe to it, American West Coast. We're talking about American West Coast kind of music. It's called Rosemary's Last Kiss by Z Star. Check it out.
Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. Bright colors fashion your day, and you cannot escape the spell she's cast you in. Bright colors fashion your day, and you cannot escape the spell she's cast you in. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. And all I can do is warn you, and all I can do is taunt you, and all I can do is hope to let you go. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. And all I can do is warn you, and all I can do is taunt you,
That is the genius. That is Z-Star. Z-Star, Z-Gadget from Woodbrook, right there in Woodbrook, Trinidad and Tobago. And outside now, bona fide rock and roll star. People like, Jimmy Page and Robert Daltrey from Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin and Robert Daltrey from The Who. These people bow at Z's feet and say, that is real rock and roll. That is a rock and roll performer. Z is one of the baddest rock and roll performers out there, top of the line. And she has one incarnation as Z-Star where she does her blues-based rock and roll, like that stuff and those kind of things. And then she has another incarnation where she does more folkloric stuff. And she credits Mighty Shadow as that's one of her influences in that set of stuff. And that's more experimental kind of folklore type music and those kind of thing with our rhythms. And she sings with a Trini accent and those kinds of stuff. And shades of rapso and soca swinging in there and all that kind of stuff. So she hasn't forgotten her roots and stuff, We getting requests to play it again, right? All right. We listen to the fans out here. Let's take our wheel again of the genius that is Z-Star, Trinidad and Tobago rock star out there doing the do. Rosemary's Last Kiss.
Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. Bright colors fashion your day, and you cannot escape the spell she's cast you in. Bright colors fashion your day, and you cannot escape the spell she's cast you in. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. And all I can do is warn you, and all I can do is taunt you, and all I can do is hope to let you go. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. Rosemary's got you again, and you cannot escape from her last kiss. For she moves with a thorn in her side, and she bleeds with your love on the line. And all I can do is warn you, and all I can do is taunt you, and all I can do is hope to let you go. And all I can do is warn you, and all I can do is taunt you, and all I can do is hope to disappear. All I can do, nothing I can do.
Yeah, man. So nice that we had to do it twice. They just had Z Star doubling up Rosemary's Last Kiss, Trinidad and Tobago rock star out there, and just the production values and that kind of stuff and thing. And I mean, Z's voice and that kind of stuff, but you could hear the production values of major label studio kind of stuff, the strings and I mean the orchestration and that kind of stuff. Just goes to show what you could do when you get the resources and those kinds of stuff. Z Star in the house, showing us how it's done. Now, this next artist here, this is Rel, this is Trinidad, this is Rel and Trinidad Underground. Known for years of his performance as the lead vocalist and songwriter for local metal group Spectral Vibes, Cutter is now embarking at this is his solo album, his solo career that he's jumped off on. You see he's written works in soca, electronic rock and that kind of stuff. And he says he's created this form of music with all these influences that he calls post-colonial wave. I find this song haunting, and I really like listen to the song, and like we come back on the other side and stuff, but there's something happening in this song. Yeah, let's check it out. Cutter, Dregs. Wow, we in this show, this particular program, we kind of jump in between kind of railroad tracks, and that kind of stuff, and then the rail kind of polish stuff like a Z Star and that kind of thing, and then these. And there's something about the beauty of the raw emotional stuff like that particular song, Dregs, where it's kind of old New Order, kind of Ian Curtis, real fatalist kind of those chords and those kinds of stuff, and the deadpan delivery of the vocals and the sentiments of the song. Who don't hear will feel, and it feels like that. It really feels like a song for now, for me. and it's real haunting. It really feels like a song for now. Like like that is a kind of, that if we were a real country, that's a song that will run straight through the summer towards the end of the year. Just playing because it evokes the mood of the moment, who do here will feel, and that last verse about encountering the homeless man, who they say was smart, who was once brilliant, who asks for, give me something, or give me some change, and then and he says, if it's one thing, is one lesson I learned, is who do hear will feel. Yeah, so that's incredible music. It's real beautiful music. So this is the next track. This next track is about the moment. This is one of our Rapso brethren, who's been in the game a long time, old schoolmate from Newtown Boys since, inside the Rapso game, long time, a hip hop head, a serious hip hop from Ambrosia for heads. This is somebody who really loves, he really loves that music, that the urban music and stuff, and keeping within that the mode of that last song and about hardcore reality. This next song by Andy Venture is called Broke.
Man had to eat. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. No. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No. I don't wanna be. No. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not sleeping. If I don't hustle, I'm not eating. Don't get huff in the game for not eating. I wanna hold on something I could push my own keys in. Got some land and plant my own trees in. What I planting is always in season. I find that eating is a good enough reason to be hustling out here this evening. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. No. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No. I don't wanna be. Right now out here we really mean business. And when I tell you we really mean business, to keep it up you really need fitness. If you don't deal with selling, we do business. To keep it strong economically, to provide for the family. Poverty and no comedy, and catching eyes and no pile of me. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. No. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No. I don't wanna be. This life I choose is all about music. Looking at hers because as I choose it. And to be honest, it's hard to make profits. It's to have a long pockets and some access to ducats. Bills to pay and little one needs schooling. Things not free and I'm not out here fooling. Shirt or tie or strictly blue color. Give me coin, give me dollar, and it really don't matter. Broke. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. No. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No. I don't wanna be. Damn it. Look what they bring, the pandemic. Must tweak schematic. No, I didn't plan it. Had to adapt cause I know not to panic. Had to adopt a new plan, automatic. But no degree wasn't big as scholastic. Got to work a magic, make a dollar elastic. I go in and get before the thing get drastic. Cause I know what does revenues erratic. And then need it quick like porridge. Too much so we getting discouraged. I rather flip a new knowledge. Make sure the income solid. Make sure that small man gets to college. All I know is assets have to manage challenges. I got to match it. Yeah, they keep the happiness as a box under the mattress. Calling on resilience. Yo, I never lack this. Yo, it's only business, never malice. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. I don't wanna be broke. No. I don't wanna be broke.
hustling, no one not eating. Don't want get huff in the game for not eating. I wanna hold on something I can push my own keys in. Cop some land and plant my own trees in. What I planting is always in season. I find that eating is a good enough reason to be hustling out here this evening. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No, no. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No, no. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be broke. 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 No, no. I don't wanna be.
Yeah, man, Andy. Good stuff. You know, hardcore, real music for real moment. You know, there's real times. You know, real people facing that. This is that time. You know, and even people who looking like they handling their stories and that kind of stuff. You know, they just on a knife's edge. You know, they just that close to tipping over into you know a deadly zone of serious spiral in poverty. It's a serious thing, and you know, I think those two songs back to back, in a real country. You know, those are the kinds of things that we'll be playing right through, you know, because they kind of conjugate the times, you know, but our job is that we play the music, we put the music that's out there that the artists have brought up from within their bowels and within the bowels of the people and from their soul, and we put it out there. This next track, so we're swinging away from that into, you know, I mean, pure musical space and that kind of thing. We're gonna listen to a group called the Yardies, which was set up by it's a Trinidadian who went abroad, Jason George, went to school at the Musicians Institute of Technology to do vocal training for 3 years, and he's a songwriter, and whilst there, hooked up with a whole set of musicians to execute his songs. Brought them down here to Trinidad, they lime in his house, and they put down, you know, just a couple tracks. And that was all she wrote, you know, 4 tracks, and that was it. And that was the lifespan of that band, you know. And there's a whole set of music like that. I always tell people record. When you get your bands together, don't presume. And everybody, all youths feel they're immortal, and all young bands feel that they're immortal as well. You know, that we'll always be around 10 years from now, you know, when we get a record deal, we record the stuff. Record it now, Palos, because next week, not promised. Say a band or anything, you know. And so these guys were fortunate enough to be able to put down the stuff. 4 tracks, and that was the end of that. You know, Jason would go on to create other bands, you know, a lot of times with spare members of Orange Sky bands and that kind of stuff, you know, different times, you know, he would get together with different Dion Camacho, and at times he'd get together with Nigel and stuff. He had a band called Candy Clouds. They had a big track called Empty Bottles that they would only be able to record one song from a track of 8, and then there's another group called Upset the Order with other ex-members of Orange Sky, Obasi Springer, Adam Murray, and others. I think that band is still together, and we'd love to get some music from them if they're out there. Like, you know, send us some of those tracks so we could hear those things. And I think people still running down that Empty Bottle song. But yeah, so let's listen to one of these 4 tracks put together by Jason with his group called the Yardies. Let's go away.
Last night you call, you're leaving in the morning. I know that can't be right. You try to say you want to go away. I know that that's a lie. You have a way, make me lose my mind. You have a way, rock me all the time. You You have a
Yeah, man. That's one of Trinidad's really distinctive vocalists there, Jason George, with his band. Um, the Yardies that existed, all of that 4 songs that they recorded from his stint out there in LA at school. And we're moving on. And so here's another Trinidad and Tobago export. This group, founded by a immigrant Trinidadian songwriter called Drew Gonzalez of the Gonzalez family. And this, he went to Canada to live, and Drew just had this attachment to Golden Age Calypso, and created a band that was bubbling from inside of that space. The name of the band was Cobotong, you know, to the mythical Cobotong community in Mucurapo, and he created this band that was channeling Golden Age Trinidad and Tobago music, and lo and behold, nominated first album is, you know, he works with a Belizean producer, Ivan Duran, and nominated for an Indie Award, a Canadian Folk Music Award, International Folk Alliance Award. Album reached #1 on the European World Music Charts. You know, European gigs, festival gigs, club gigs all over UK, Belgium, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Switzerland, Hungary, Slovenia. Album climbs to #5 on the Billboard Reggae charts. Nominated for multiple awards, including a Juno, which is Canada's Grammy, and the prestigious Polaris Music Prize. Bam! All of a sudden, different stratosphere, right? He goes on. He has 2 other albums. He works with Calypso Rose, you know, channeling again his new age Calypso and her traditional stuff, finding new forms. They do a song called Abatina. Lo and behold, the song is covered by Santana for his 2019 album, and retitled as Breaking Down the Door. Next stratosphere again. All using Golden Age Calypso as the jumping off point, right? International star, Drew Gonzalez, which just goes to show the power of the form, the power of the storytelling component, the power of the Golden Age Calypso form, and those kinds of things. And we need to be, you know, we need to be doing many more experiments with that form, getting up close and personal with it in a real sense. Same with soca. We need to be doing those experiments. That thing that Ras Shorty I started doing, SOKA8 soca, East Indian melodies and African rhythms, married with calypso. We haven't started to really engage that that experiment yet. We haven't done our work. we have plenty work to do. But every now and then, they have those who go ahead and go before us and give us a sense of what is possible. And that's what Kobo Town, led by Drew Gonzalez, has been doing. The song is called The Call. Check it out.
The moon shone brightly nightly, casting its glimmer, its shimmer, ever so slightly down the silent sleeping on. It was all that I needed for a call. The night breeze blew sprightly, the teaser spied me, and I tiptoed out of her so lightly. No sound to announce that I was on, but I found the place where the pale moon shone. Where the pale moon shone. Far out and alone, surrounded by terrors which were all my own. But the night which cast its light and charm did not intend any harm. Soon the gentle light and embracing calm put to flight any undue alarm. And when I thought that the night would be spent without incident, I heard a rumbling in the firmament. And I stood speechless and amazed before a face beyond praise, who gazed down from his great beyond upon the place where the pale moon shone. I lack the language to describe the majesty which filled the skies, whose gaze seemed to set the stars ablaze, making the night brighter than the day. I stood in wonder like a child, a shadow in the rush of light. Not a stir, not a sound was it, was the voice which covered all the world. Love is stronger than that, more jealous than the grave. Love is stronger than that, more jealous than the grave. Love no flood can quench, no raging torrent drown. Love no flood can quench, no raging torrent drown. All was gone, there was a distant moon where the near sun shone. Gone was the face and the blacker space. All was back in its usual place. No sign to remind, nothing left behind. No souvenir of how I spent the time. Once again I was on my own to find my way home. To find my way home. To find my way home.
Yeah, man. So that's just a taste of Kobo Town, Drew Gonzalez, and his award-winning group from Canada, Trinidad boy, doing good up there, and his experiments with Golden Age Calypso form. You hear in mix with rap soul, and you hear in mix with different kinds of things. And in every album, you will get all these different styles that Drew's putting together. But the storytelling remains that kind of golden age, kind of calypso kind of form, you know. We're going on, so we're entering into the world beat section of the program, right? So for those who don't know, the term world beat is what the formal music industry calls the music of the other parts of the world outside of Europe and America, right? So the ethnic musics of the world, the music of the global south, they call world beat music, global music, and that kind of stuff. Of course, as huge as it is wide in terms of what it constitutes. And of course, a lot of the stuff that we do here in Trinidad on the ethnic tip that will constitute world beat music. So we're gonna listen to a couple of songs now that within that kind of mode and that kind of stuff. So, you know, like so this one is really interesting. This one is by Dimple. Right? Hi, Dimple. How are you going? I know that Dimple is tuned in. I saw her a little while ago. Dimple is a singer, dancer, model, actress, henna artist, cake designer, business owner, etc., etc. Dancing since the age of 4, singing since the age of 15 years. And this song was a filmy song, but a filmy song that was not really covered. And she thought that, this, it was a popular movie and that kind of stuff. And the moment that this song appeared, it's a song about a shawl. It's just that moment of, that dramatic moment in the movie where a piece of clothing speaks volumes and that kind of stuff, and she just thought that's a rather poetic kind of moment, and it's a poetic thing, it's a poetic song. And why has no one done a cover of this song internationally? And Dimple jumped on it. But she didn't just, she just didn't do a cover. She interprets the song. And ankle, right? The ankle and the ankle, yeah. Anklet, that's what it is. And she didn't just interpret the song. She adds an EDM, a kind of EDM spin on the song, and it has the chutney and soca swing inside of there as well. So it's a really, really interesting kind of take, and it's a song that I would like to see go global. I would like to see, I like to see her do it. So let's take it in, come out on the other side, and like some. man, Dimple. Yeah, man, that's how we like it. We like to hear we like people to start experimenting and going after stuff, and you know, uh, doing different takes on what is normal and that kind of stuff. Trinidad uses filmy music as jumping off points for chutney all the time. It uses filmy music for a lot of the dancing and that kind of stuff. A lot of the dancing is not folk stuff and is not traditional things. It's all from filmy and that kind of stuff. Why not filmy music covered took home shanty home and made millions of it. So why can't Trinidad and Tobago return the favor and engage why am I advertising for Bob? Engage and do the thing, sell it back to them. And so we wish Dimple all the best with that experiment and that adventure. And we cheering on. So we continue in that mode. We're looking at Trinidad and Tobago world beat music that's exploring the ethnic side of Trinidad and Tobago, the ancestral musics and those kinds of things. And we have a really interesting band here. It's called Terra Renaissance, which means the rebirth of the living world. From terra meaning earth and renaissance, of course, meaning rebirth. And so this was a kind of creature of Yui, founded in 2006 by Avian Calendar, and the band members came from all different parts of Trinidad and Tobago, vastly different musical backgrounds, and they came together and they started jamming whilst they're there, and people who are into different styles of Hindu traditional music and steel pan and parang and all these different kinds of things all come together. People doing capoeira music and all these kinds of things, and drummers, all that kind of stuff. They put together a 4-track EP called Earthology, and lo and behold, they get signed. They get signed to a world beat label. So one of the leading independent labels involved, Audio Maze, signs them, and the track is released, and the album is released internationally. Their second music video is selected as a finalist in 3 music video festivals in Paris and London. Gets official selection in 2 festivals in Angola and Munich in 2021, and this track that we're about to play garnered some 30,000 views on social media. And they're doing stuff. And this is, all acoustic instrumentation, and real Trinidad and Tobago fusion. And on this note, just before we came into the program, we received some really bad news. For the last couple of programs, we've been kind of like awake, doing tributes and celebrating lives of, and we got this really bad news that wood wind instrument saxophonist extraordinaire Dawood Orr passed on earlier on today. Got the news from Roger Israel, who arrived at the scene, and they discovered Dawood is 61 years old. People would recognize Dawood as the saxophonist for Andre Tanker and Contraband. He was inseparable from Andre for a long period, especially during Andre's kind of resurgence throughout those latter years, just before he passed. And he was naturally just a natural musician. And he had, when there were periods when he was on song, and Dawood, he was doing stuff that, some of the great jazz guys were doing. I mean, he was in that mode and it was purely instinctive. I mean, of course, he worked on his craft and those kinds of things, but he, you know, he was an intuitive musician and a really brilliant guy. A lot very misunderstood and those kinds of things. A transplant from England, and didn't fit in certain spaces in Trinidad and couldn't deal with Trinidad and stupidity and all those kinds of things. And he could have been like, you know, a really incredible session musician if we had a proper music scene that allowed for those things to happen, for a talent like that to find spaces to breathe and you know. And so he had a kind of really hard time the last couple of years. But for the years when he was on song with Andre and with a couple other things, he was with Mongol, Patisar, for a while, and he was extraordinary. He complemented Andre's music at a particular point in time when Andre was himself kind of really going at it as he came back, when Andre came back out. And you know, I mean, you kind of, they were kind of inseparable. The vision of Dawood and Andre there, and Andre and Dawood's lines, you know. So unfortunately, Dawood is no longer with us. So rest in peace, brother. Thanks for the music. We really appreciated it, and we really appreciated you. Sorry if we didn't do a good job of letting you know whilst you were here, you know. So yes, so this song, I would like to dedicate this song to him, Shringara from Renaissance. This is World Beat music at its finest. Check it out. Yeah, man, Shringara and to Renaissance there dedicated that track and dedicated that track to the late Dawood or saxophonist for a lot of people, but especially Andre Tanka, Mongol Pattis, woodwind instrument extraordinaire. Thanks for the music, Dawood. Rest in peace again, brother. We appreciate you. And so we're moving now into this next phase. We're gonna be listening to some of the songstresses of Trinidad and Tobago, the jazz that in the jazz scene. You're gonna listen back to back to two who have like some really brilliant chops and have been really good interpreters of music. The first is Ruth Osmond, and the song is called "Everybody Needs a Song." I want you to listen to the purity of this song and the formal elegance of composition and arrangements and that kind of stuff in this first track. Right, this track you could hear this in 1950s American Hollywood musicals and that kind of stuff. Real brilliant formal elegance, pop, jazz pop at its finest. And right after, we're gonna listen to Vonette Bigfoot doing her version of that great B-side called "Can You Love Me" by Kellyanne, which was a B-side to their Billboard charting single. It's like calypso reggae or some kind of some strange thing as a reggae kind of thing, Kellyanne. But this is a brief moment when they were signed to a major label and those things. But this song, "Can You Love Me," is on the B side, and "Can You Love Me" is one of the great Trinidad and Tobago pop songs of the early period of Trinidad and Tobago pop. And here we have an interpretation of that by Vonette Bigfoot, and I believe that this is you're hearing Michael Laushitong, Ming, and Terrence Shaw, and some of the great jazz musicians of Trinidad's modern age, who are really excellent arrangers of music and interpreters of music. Right, so back to back, we're gonna hear two of the great songstresses of Trinidad's modern age. Of course, we kidnapped Ruth Osmond from Guyana, originally from Guyana. We've kidnapped her, and she's one of ours now. Suck it, Guyana. We have her now. Right, but so let's hear them back to back. Two Trini songbirds, Ruth Osmond, followed by Vonette Bigfoot.
While I was sleeping, I came to the water's edge, where people were meeting, open faces and outstretched hands. What are they doing? Why are they here? I asked a woman who was standing near. Everybody needs a song when they feel they can't go on. Everybody needs a tune to chase the blues away. Everybody needs the words for that longing deep inside. Doesn't matter where you're from, everybody needs a song. Doesn't matter where you're from, everybody needs a song. Everybody needs a song when they feel they can't go on. Everybody needs a tune to chase the blues away. Everybody needs the word for that longing deep inside. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody needs a song. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody needs credit on to the water children. Credit on to the water children. Credit on to the water children. Credit on. Come to the water. Let yourself ride. All of the feelings you've hidden inside. You'll find the answer right where you stand. You'll find the treasure in your Everybody needs a song when they feel they can't go on. Everybody needs a tune to chase the blues away. Everybody needs the words for that longing deep inside. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody needs a song. Doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody needs a song. I felt his arms tightening around me. I knew exactly what he wanted to say. One lovely night, the moon was high. Good heavens, the timing was right. It was right, yo. He raised his eyes, just trying to find just the right words that he wanted to say. Then he raised his eyes and he looked into my eyes, and I knew what he wanted to say. Can you love me as much as I love you? squeezed me, gave my heart a song. And the rules and sighs he put into my ear could change any woman to a child. Oh, what a perfect man, and this perfect night he chose to let off on me with his sweet and gentle words. And in all my life I remember that day and the words he had chosen to say. Can you love me as much as I love you? Can you be mine for as long as I want you to? Can you love me as much as I love you? Can you be mine till the end of time? Can you love me as much as I love you? Can you be mine for as long as I want you to? Can you love me, yeah, as much as I love you? Can you be mine for as long as I want you to? Can you love me as much as I love you? Can you be mine for as long as I want you to? Can you love me as much as I love you? Can you be mine till the end of time? Oh yeah,
Yeah, man. So yeah, so we just had some back-to-back Trinidad and Tobago jazz songstresses, Vonette Bigford, preceded by Ruth Osman. We keeping on that tip. We listening to Trini vocalists, female vocalists. This is a young, upcoming uh, uh, vocalist, female vocalist. Her name is Tyler Ariel Head, and this is her first single that she did. It's called Misery. She wrote it during a time that she described as the most difficult in her life. And she debuted it in 2020, and Gaia and Synergy and all those things. And her career started to take off. She started to get buzz in international radio stations and that kind of stuff. Different singles that she's done have been picked up and those kind of things. She just got some thing on Instagram where one of that, I think the same track on one of the tracks was chosen to be one of their pulse kind of things there. And so she's starting to do things. Again, I just really love the song. It's good pop music, modern pop music. And so, this is a female part of the show. We just had back to back those kind of the I wanna Vonette and Ruth don't get vexed and saying I said more senior voices, right? We know both always young girls. We know that, right? Young woman, yeah. But Tyler upcoming, young tigress in the mix. So let's take it in. Let's take in Misery by Tyler. Yeah, man, that is brilliant pop music. That could chart anywhere on the planet, given the proper push and the proper context. That is in the pocket international pop music. And the fight down, the Trinidad and Tobago fight down. Again, this is stuff that should be playing on every radio station right through, and that kind of stuff. Now, a lot of the songs that we played tonight have a kind of dark undertone. There's elements of sadness, there's an element of loss, and those kinds of things. I just feel that there are a couple of songs that are kind of conjugating this period of time. Dregs by Cutter and Broke by Venture, and this song, and these songs kind of channel in something in the air, that we shouldn't run from. And only by the artists are the ones who touching that space through Tyler experience, that personal drama and traumas that she was going through and whatever she was going through that brought the song to the surface. But it's something that is there that has been collectively felt, you know. And so, you know, Tyler, we want to thank you. Excellent work. We want to, you know, keep up the good work, keep putting it out there, and you know, that's why this program exists. Indigenous every single Thursday, as much as we could make it, 9 to 11 on Radio Toko, www.radiotoko.com. Every single Thursday we're here, mainstreaming the local underground, globalizing Trinbago sound, you know, all the music that all them other 30-something radio stations don't want to play. All that Trini reggae, Trini pop, Trini rock, Trini dancehall, Trini zest, Trini rap, so Trini jazz, Trini world beat, Trini EDM, all those styles of music and stuff that fought down the thousands of songs put out every year by especially young Trinbagonians, you know, that are silenced. $72 million worth of music and counting every single year by young Trinidadians that is not played. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the soca and the parang and the chutney and that. I'm talking about all the other stuff, the pop, the music for the other 363 days of the year that is not played. $72 million worth of it. And so you're hearing all these different beautiful things, you know, that aren't given that context here. So let's jump into a next one, XOXO. You know the cry, you know the cry, you know the cry. Money or love?
Yeah. Okay. He drive a Benz compressor, but not me. I drive a white wing road on 18th. He live in Westmore and I live in by McQueen. He travel the globe, Tobago the furthest I ever been. He have a black card, I own a Lynx card. But I'm not dead broke, cause I hustle hard. He got a beautiful woman, if you see her. Why the hell she always calling me for me to be her? Telling me she love me, she wanna spend the night. Though he all swag out like Vince twice. I'm just feeling lucky though it made no sense to me, no. But it did eventually. It seems when it comes to money it's forever there. But love and emotional support was never there. Other women on the scene, plus she hate to share. That's why she here in my room, cause I seem to care. She said that she's having all the money that she wants, but there's something missing. I said, baby, it's love. Maybe it's living in this mansion, plus she's having all these cars. All of this makes no sense without no love. No love. Yeah. Cause do I love her? Yes I do though. Pour the nouveau, let's sip it in slow-mo. Sitting debating, that's what the hell to toast for. Simple life full of love, you should live more. She couldn't take another day, feeling unsure. Being loved is the bomb like a claymore. No, she got a little more to thank God for. She said I came into her life when she prayed more. He tried to turn her on by buying her a new whip. That's no scene cause I turned her on keyless. He spent a couple thousand buying her a new kit. All I spend is time taking off that same dress. Let me tell you something, we have a lot in common. All she needs is me, all this money mean nothing. Cause respect is present, and love is present. Plus I spend the time, while he always at. She said that she's having all the money that she wants, but there's something missing. I said, baby, it's love. Living in this mansion, plus she's having all these cars. All of this makes no sense without no love. No love. Yeah. Nothing is wrong with having the finer things in life, but don't forget all the important things in life. Don't sacrifice the things you need things to learn. Let's go. She said that she's having all the money that she wants, but there's something missing. I said, baby, it's love. Maybe it's love. Yeah. Living in this mansion, plus she's having all these cars. All of this makes no sense without no love. No love. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, that's sometimes that's how it is, you know. It's money versus love. And the beautiful thing is that sometimes love wins. Like sometimes love wins. And love trumps the money. So that's like a part 2, hopefully, of Andy Ventures Broke that we heard earlier on. This next track though is in the same mode, you had the bling guys, you have the swag guys and the bling guys and the 1% boys and that kind of stuff, riding with the props and that kind of thing, and then you had the yardies and the boys who rolling with the streets and the boys who who have only swag on their side. You know what I mean? May the best man win. So that's the, so that is a real modern kind of battle that's going on right now out here, between the men who pulling up with the rides and the rims and the whatnot and that kind of stuff, and the guys who taking taxi, and the men who wage workers versus the gilded set, and it's good to know that every now and then that love does win, swag conquers swag conquers fraud thing, right? So this next one is about that same brilliant R&B reggae styles and that kind of stuff by Valentine. Is called Perfect Guy. All this is Trinidad and Tobago music. All these styles that you hear so far, hear the different styles coming at you. That's what Indigenous bringing to you, and that's what Trinidad musicians and artists doing for you 24/7, 365, being fought down outside by them 36 other radio stations and TV stations and whatnot and stuff for decades. It will end soon. Trust me. Perfect Guy, Valentine. Check it out.
Valentine, yeah. If I don't see you one day, nothing goes right, yeah. I ain't perfect, baby, but my every effort is to make you smile. If you don't love me, girl, that's alright. I'd rather have you here, you with me, than the moonlight at night. Gravity won't exist, girl, if you give me a try. High pressure, high temperature, gonna burn out your life. I'ma turn your body into a furnace. You shake the dark, burn chocolate sweetness. Baby, cause you know you're my weakness. Stop dreaming about the perfect guy. That dream will never come to life, girl. It's time you realize I'm not just a man, girl. You need to understand, girl. You say you're not ready, but you won't regret it, like the plan to get married. But baby, don't panic. When action gets set, it's welcome to a new planet. I'ma take you from the ground to the moon. You won't understand it. You know we not got done. Fire go burn until we see the sun, girl. Whoa. Gravity won't exist, girl, if you give me a try. High pressure, high temperature, gonna burn out the light. I'ma turn your body into a furnace. don't see you one day, nothing goes back, girl. I ain't perfect, baby, but my every effort is to make you smile. If you don't love me, girl, that's alright. I'd rather have you here, you with me, than the moonlight at night. Gravity won't exist, girl, if you give me a try. High pressure, high temperature, gonna burn out the lights. I'ma turn your body into a furnace. 50 shades of dark, burn chocolate sweetness. Baby, cause you know you're my weakness. Stop dreaming about the perfect guy. That dream will never come to life, girl. It's time you realize I'm an just a man, girl. You need to understand, girl. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, man. Perfect Guy by Valentine, born Simba Aswad. That's two lions on top of one another. Simba Aswad Valentine, 5th of June 1993, hailing from Malik Street, 5th Avenue in Caledonia. First thing Valentine say not ashamed of his community. He proud to be from Caledonia, proud to be Malik. You know what I mean? You ride with that flag hard, boy. You do that and ride and represent your community. You know, join church choir and start to sing in churches all over the place and start to discover his own style of writing and those kinds of things, start to mature into R&B, dancehall, hip hop, trying all those things, make semifinals and Soca Monarch. Like somebody in this frame right here also made semifinals in Soca Monarch. I wouldn't say who, but you know, somebody here did same thing. But yeah, mixing all those genres and that kind of stuff, you know, and his music on radio stations, Canada, Los Angeles, Brooklyn, New York, not Trinidad and Tobago, except on Indigenous, you know. And yeah, I mean, doing really mature, that again, that's global music. There's no reason for that music to not be playing 24/7, 365. You know, that's excellent modern music in the pocket. And here's another guy who's been a pioneer of Trinidad and Tobago classic R&B in that kind of neo soul mold, you know. Another man hailing from, you know, the East Port of Spain, that area and stuff that we call East Port of Spain, going earlier to Saint Juan, you know, Laventy boy representing, and same thing, you know, BAM coming up, school, church thing, vocal training, those kind of things. You know, a number of groups coming up, you know, and you know, finding his voice, refining his craft. Highway Records, you have to big up Highway Records. A lot of the best music that we played comes from Highway Records. You know, Stuart Fortuny, that whole crew, Chromatics, all those guys who were committed to that kind of hip hop, R&B sound and production values and those kinds of things. Pioneered like really, really, really sound production values. You know, big up men like Bebo and all those guys and all those producers that production values. And John is a fruit of a lot of that work that was done. So let's check out Angel now by John. And I'll talk more about it when we come out to the other side.
Yeah, John. John, baby. Amen. Send me an angel. She took me to heaven. It's like I'm still there.
It feels so good to be alive in love with you. Your love strengthens me. Your teeth in my head apparently, and it feels good, so good. Amen. You sent me an angel. She took me to heaven. It's like I'm still there. Feels like I'm still there. You sent me an angel. I need you. It's like I'm still there. I love you honestly. It feels so surreal, baby, when I'm with you. When you're around me, they say that love is blind, but I see you clearly by my side, and it feels right, so right. Amen. You sent me an angel. I need to take me to heaven. It's like I'm still there. You sent me an angel. You sent me, she took me to heaven. It's like I'm still there. I need my angel. I want my angel. Run to me, run to me. Come to me, come to me. Oh, I want my angel. Run to me, run to me. Come to me, come to me. Oh, I want my angel.
Bun all them other radio station, fire bun all them program managers and all them station managers. Fire bun all them people who fight down Trinidad and Tobago music and all this genius music and stuff that out here that they refusing to play, you know, making aborting the genius of Trinidad and Tobago youth and Trinidad and Tobago pop culture and all the different styles and all the different patterns and all the economy and industry that could be born out of this genius. You know, decades and decades of fight down, thousands and thousands and thousands of songs fought down. Fire burn, all of them. Fire burn. Serious thing. You can't do that. You cannot do that to your people. You cannot do that. You could hear something like why we just play there, all them tracks and stuff, things like what John put down there, and refuse to play it. Something have to be wrong with you. Fire burn. Serious thing. Serious thing. Serious thing. Right. And so I got that off my chest. So this next track, again, we're switching modes. You know what I mean? We're switching modes, showing you all the different variety as we do every single week. You know, it's not just one different style. What I like about this next group and what they're doing, this is classic rock and roll. Classic middle of the road rock and roll. And it is middle-aged rock and roll, right? So this is rock and roll by, you know, middle-aged people, that is written from that space, you know, written from that place, and listen, and it's Trinidadian because it's storytelling. It's like country music even, you know, I mean, storytelling. But listen to the story of the song and this approach and that kind of stuff. This is all Trinidad and Tobago music. This is some of the senior great session musicians in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a band called Mix. It's a 5-piece classic pop rock band formed in 2012. You know, these are guys like Selvin Bisou on bass and vocals, Marcel Van Rickem and guitar, Carlos Rojas on drums, Nigel Batiste on keyboard. Different times, different people playing. Barry Stout at drums and keyboards, Peter Shim on lead guitar, Stephen Balchan on vocals. You know, at different times, different, but it's always that mix, and it's mature rock music, and I really like it. And check it out. Mix. this, thousands of songs like this that have been fought down and have been silenced and you have never heard by those 30-something other radio stations and TV stations and stuff. Fireburn, Fireburn, Fireburn. Right? So, yo, DJ, we're going to skip 2 of those songs that we have coming up because we're really closing in on the hour. And we're going to hopscotch those 2 songs and we're going to jump to the song Hopscotch by Def Prince. Now, at the top of the program, we played a song called Dregs by Cutter, and which is a strange, haunting kind of song. You know, that, you know, about, you know, who do hear will feel, you know, using those minor chords and the Ian Curtis new other kind of style and that kind of thing, and that droning kind of voice, and you know, the story behind the song and all that kind of stuff. This is a song that is in that kind of strange kind of mood. Is EDM, but this is Trini EDM, you know. Again, it's Trinidad storytelling. That's the difference between us and the world. That golden age calypso storytelling, that Anansi, you know, that ability, that's there. You know, Def Prince describes himself as a 6'1" artist from Trinidad and Tobago. You know, in experimenting with soca and all these other styles and those kind of stuff. And you know, searching for a sound, and you know, this song kind of found a space and a lane. So let's take it in, the strangeness of this song, Hopscotch by Def Prince.
Hopscotch. Hopscotch.
be playing hopscotch, hopscotch.
Yeah, man, Deaf Prince. That's how you do it. I mean, that song is beautiful kicks and jamming. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear that inside a, you know what I mean? That a track like that have me longing to be back inside a party and stuff in a disco. You know what I mean? To hear a track like that and stuff, and with story and wit and all that kind of stuff and thing, and that beat and stuff driving. You know what I mean? You know, that's what it's all about. You know, is music, all these different styles. I mean, all these different styles. Just think about all the places we traveled today in terms of mood and style, types of music, genre, different types of voices, different kinds of production styles, and all of them telling stories and those kinds of things. And, you know, Indigenous every single Thursday, 9 to 11, Radio Toko, bigging up Radio Toko, Andre Williams, Boy Keran, McClatchy, the whole crew, yeah, all the guys and stuff who have our backs and that kind of thing, you know. Sheldon Mano's not here with me, but, you know, the two of us, the Artists Coalition, been putting on Indigenous, put it on for 6 years, and then we had a break for a 4-year period, and then we're back again now. And we have the large project which we're doing, it's called the July Generation, where we're sending packages, curated packages of Trinidad and Tobago pop culture, music, 24 songs every week for 18 weeks, plus film, music, articles, animation, video games, all kinds of stuff, to 150 plus international tastemakers to kind of get a buzz for brand TNT and brand TNT pop cultural product out there. Those are the kind of projects that we're into, trying to, you know, take this stuff to the next level, you know, and expand brand TNT's footprint in the world, you know, and connecting the dots between the legacy, the global legacy, from the Nicki Minaj and the Foxy Brown and the Cardi B's and the Heather Headleys and the Winston Dukes and the Jeffrey Holders and Billy Oceans and the Pearl Primuses and the V.S. Naipaul, CLR James's, first black Mr. Olympia, first black Miss Universe, first black governor of the BBC, first black man in the House of Lords, all Trinis, you know, that astounding global legacy, 1.4 million people, you know, telling that story to the global tastemakers while hitting them in the pocket, Trinidad and Tobago pop, you know, and those are the kind of projects that we're working on and that kind of stuff right now. And so, last track for the night, we keep it within this EDM styling, and this is like early stuff from this artist, calling himself Andy himself. Not the same Andy Venture that we heard at the top of the program. It's a different Andy, right? His real name is actually Aaron. But, you know, experiment with EDM and dance music and electronica and stuff in, you know, inside the lab, doing that work, sending this stuff out to England and globally to all the Europe spaces and the DJs and the producers and the dance places and stuff. And then eventually making the decision to migrate and cross the Atlantic and go after his dream and create this music and become a EDM producer and EDM music maker and DJ and the full works and stuff. And since then, if I show you the list of accolades and the list of collaborators from the biggest labels and the biggest DJs and the biggest EDM producers and that kind of stuff that he has worked with since. This is him at his beginning when he was still here in Trinidad, experimenting with the sound and finding his love and his passion for this thing. This is Andy himself, and the song is Remedy, and just let this track take us out. Andy himself, the Remedy. all listeners, Radio Tofu Massive, Indigenous Massive. Thanks for, being with us on this ride for the last 2 hours. I'm your boy, Yuri Victor. Right across there, you have shout out yourself. Aaron, me and you.
Yeah,
Krabi.
man. Yeah, yo. Yeah, I just here enjoying it. Taking the vibes, yes. It's in the background.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself. And,
Thank you.
we're going to big up all the artists whose music we featured this week. The guys from Indigo sang Indigo Blue, we still don't know who they are. But Z-Star, Cutter, and Adventure, The Yardi, Kobo Dimples, Renaissance, Ruth Osmond, Bonnet Bigfoot, Tyler, Ariel, EXO, Valentine, John, Nick, Zen. Well, we didn't get to play Zen or Insert Point, Death Print, and Andy himself. All those people who are here, whose music we played, big up all yourself, keep up the work, keep up the great work that you've been doing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We exist here to be able to bring your beauty to the world. Right? That's what Indigenous is. Mainstreaming the local underground, globalizing Trinbago sound. That's our duty. And we take it very seriously. I'm Ruby Victor from the Artists Coalition of Trinidad and Tobago. Not here with me right now is my partner in crime, Sheldon Nano. But this is our belief that we are as good as anybody else on the planet in what we do as artists in Trinidad and Tobago. And we have to do the work to be able to give our artists that platform. It first begins with loving self and putting self on a pedestal. So that's what we're doing here with Indigenous. So once again, signing off every Tuesday, 9 to 11. Check us out. And this program, live stream, it's going to be, you can listen to this right through. It's going to be available on the Radio Toko Facebook page. And you could jam the music in the background. You could pick up the live stream anytime. Right? It's available. Yeah, man. So that's it for me. Over and out. We love you. Let's listen to some more tunes as we go.
Big